We made a choice. And that they can never forgive. No matter what you tell yourself, or who you sacrifice. Silence is their judgment.
In the searing, chaotic embrace of hell, we find ourselves at the heels of Inarius and Lilith. A great clash is unfolding between the disciplined, stoic soldiers of the Cathedral of Light and the unbridled fury that is Lilith and her army of demons. Inarius, once a hero of the Angerous Council in the High Heavens, now finds himself pursuing the very embodiment of chaos, Lilith, the mother of sanctuary. His divine aura clashes against a hellish landscape, a figure of retribution amidst a landscape of fire and hate. Redemption is on his mind, a chance to undo the past mistakes and reclaim his lost place amongst the heavenly host. The elimination of Lilith, the instigator of the very sanctuary he regrets creating with her, is his chosen path to redemption. And this all stems from the prophecy of Rathma. Then came a spear of light piercing Hatred's heart. Consumed by his boundless pride, Inarius is under the delusion that this refers to his own victory over Lilith. Regardless of his belief, he propagates this part of the prophecy amongst his followers, promising them salvation from darkness and demons and pledging to drive the spear of light into the heart of hatred.
From the Father's voice to my ears, a spear of light piercing Hatred's heart. First Lilith, then the Primes. He will deliver us from the eternal conflict.
If you want to learn more about the prophecy of Rathma, make sure to watch my video on the Cathedral of Light. Lilith, the daughter of hatred, ever the crafty demon, revels in the game. Her spite echoes through the caverns of hell as she confronts Inarius, baiting him, pushing him to the brink. She deliberately exposes her vulnerability, allowing his spear to pierce her flesh. Overwhelmed by his actions, Inarius pleads out to the heavens, pleading for recognition of his sacrifice, his redemption, but the heavens remain silent. No divine voice answers his desperate call. In his moment of sorrow, Lilith retaliates. With swift brutality, she seizes his spear, driving it deep into his form, wrenching his wings from his back, his light extinguished by the relentless daughter of hatred. With Inarius fallen, the forces of the Cathedral of Light crumble. They fight valiantly but are no match for Lilith's relentless onslaught. Prava, the High Priestess of the Cathedral of Light, falls gravely wounded amidst the blood-soaked ruins of her comrades. As the dust settles, the eerie silence is a grim testament to Lilith's victory, a prelude to the inferno that is yet to come. Hi everyone, I'm Nyx, and I write lore videos on the Diablo universe and its many characters and stories. Welcome to this video. If you like it, please leave me a like, and if you love it, a subscription would be much appreciated. Now that that's out of the way, let's continue. You, Lorath, Narelle, and Donan find yourself standing in the aftermath of this conflict. The landscape is gruesome, yet you press forward. You're resolved to track down Lilith, comprehend her motivations, and dismantle her plans. The horrid landscape is teeming with demons. They come at you in waves, teeth bared, claws slashing through the sulphurous air. You stand your ground, fight them off, one grotesque form after another. The trek takes you deeper into the demonic realm, every step echoing the fallen angel's tragic end. Amidst the carnage, a familiar figure draws your attention. It's Prava, the High Priestess, believed dead in the fierce battle. You approach her gently, turning the lifeless form over. To your surprise, hidden beneath her, you find the shard of the World Stone, the very object that Inarius snatched from you before your descent into hell. But Prava stirs. She awakens, her eyes blazing with accusation. She blames you and the Horadrim for the dreadful events before vanishing from the battlefield. The blame she casts leaves a bitter taste, but the discovery of the shard overshadows this confrontation. This fragment of the World Stone, infused with immense power, has been your pursuit through much of your journey. It has the potential to confine demons, even beings as formidable as Lilith. With the shard now in your possession, your plan crystallizes. Lilith must be stopped. Her reign of chaos must end, and the means to achieve this daunting task is now within your grasp. Lilith is to be captured and banished, imprisoned within the confines of the shard. Your journey in the bowels of hell leads you to an eerie discovery: Lilith's blood petals. The petals are a grotesque boon, their dark allure carrying the promise of hidden insights. The sight of them reminds you of the bitter taste in your mouth from the beginning of your adventure, when you were force-fed these very petals, an act that ties you to Lilith in an unnerving bond. Grimly, you step closer, and as the petals unfurl under your touch, a vision seizes you, pulling you into a replay of the devastating battle. The memory isn't your own, but the shared echo of Lilith's perceptions. In this gruesome replay, you witness the death of Inarius and the decimation of the Cathedral of Light. Hell's forces stand victorious, celebrating the defeat of their foes. The revelation is a punch to the gut. Inarius, despite his flawed motives, was a force against the full might of Hell and Lilith. His death signals Hell's unchecked triumph, and Lilith is free to pursue her sinister plan without opposition. The implications are daunting. Lilith, free of her chains, is a terrifying adversary, but now you are privy to their machinations, thanks to the blood bond established by the petals. The path to stopping her is fraught with peril, but you now understand the magnitude of the threat that lies ahead and discuss a plan with your companions on how to find Lilith. The grueling combat with the demonic forces of Hell takes its toll on your team. Donan, your stalwart ally, is grievously injured in a twist of fate. As you grapple with the severity of Donan's injuries, the Sightless Eye comes into play. It is a potent artifact, your beacon in these treacherous depths. It connects realms, unearthing unseen paths and even hinting at what the future might hold. Coupled with the blood bond you share with Lilith, the Eye is your key to locating her in the chaotic whirlwind of Hell. Summoning your resolve, you dive deep into the Eye. The vision reveals Lilith, nearing the ominous Cathedral of Hatred, her father's domain. It is a place of unparalleled malice, guarded by the formidable Astaroth, the great Duke of Hell himself. But Lilith is unchallenged. A deal cut earlier, in Act 2 to be precise, comes to light. A pact between Lilith and Astaroth. He steps aside, allowing her access. As the vision seems to come to an end, Lilith becomes acutely aware of your prying gaze. She counters your watchful eye, reaching into your mind and trapping you in an inescapable nightmare. In this terrifying ordeal, familiar places morph into horrific battlegrounds. Through this hellish maze, you relentlessly strive to regain your sanity. As you navigate the nightmare, Lilith's voice resonates in the shadows. She makes her case, arguing her righteousness. Her words honeyed with persuasion. She pleads with you to join her, to become an ally in the destruction of Mephisto, her father. Your refusal is met with rage. The nightmare intensifies. More of her demonic forces unleashed upon you, the nightmare consuming everything. Yet, in the abyss of despair, an unexpected beacon of hope emerges, a fiery portal opening before you. In defiance of Lilith, Mephisto offers a path to escape her cruel mind game. Driven by necessity, you leap through the portal, plunging into another layer of the nightmare. But this one is different. Tainted by Mephisto's influence, his voice echoes around you, his intent clear: to aid you in your quest against Lilith. He bestows upon you his demonic blessing, a guiding light through the nightmare. Challenges rise before you, old foes reappearing in new forms. Yet, bolstered by Mephisto's blessing, you cleave your path, regaining strength and resolve. Finally, the Sightless Eye is once again within your grasp, providing an exit from the nightmare. Emerging from the mental torment, a grim sight greets you. Lorath watches over Donan, his life ebbing away from grievous wounds. Approaching Narelle, you relay your harrowing journey through the nightmare, the alliance you made with the unlikely figure of Mephisto, and your newfound resolve to confront Lilith once and for all. At first, disbelief paints her features, but as you share the details, she gradually absorbs the truth. Nirel's shock gives way to acceptance. Thought of allying with a prime evil is a bitter pill to swallow, but the circumstances leave little room for hesitation. Together, you resolve to journey to the Cathedral of Hatred, bracing yourselves for the confrontation with Lilith. The Cathedral of Hatred stretches before you, riddled with threats lurking in the shadows. Nirel poses a risky proposition, trapping Mephisto instead of Lilith. Her argument holds merit. Mephisto, despite his assistance, remains an unpredictable entity, potentially a greater evil than Lilith. He is one of the three prime evils after all. You reach the Throne of Hatred, a daunting landscape resonating with malice. It is here that you let Nirel make the pivotal decision. With a steady hand, she wields the shard against Mephisto, sealing the formidable prime evil within its confines. With Mephisto taken care of, the plan is straightforward. Evacuate Hell and seal the portal behind. But a nagging instinct compels you to remain. Leaving Lilith in Hell unchecked is a gamble you're unwilling to take. So you let Nirel cross the portal to safety, staying back to face the looming confrontation. No sooner does Nirel disappear into the portal that Lilith materializes in the cathedral. Her fury is palpable, the air vibrating with her wrath. As her cold eyes fix on you, the fight commences. The battle against Lilith unfolds, a whirlwind of conflict that hammers against the walls of the Cathedral of Hatred. Her transformation, proof of her dual nature, is stark and horrifying. You first grapple with her as Lilith, the Mother of Sanctuary, a figure of creation and deceit. The second phase manifests Lilith, the Daughter of Hatred, a raw, terrifying entity of destruction and malevolence. Her demise brings about a chilling revelation. In the echo of her final moments, Lilith bemoans the fate of Sanctuary. She speaks of how it was intended to be a refuge, a respite from the ceaseless eternal conflict. Yet, it had become another battlefield, scarred and divided. Lilith lays the blame squarely on humanity, which she gifted with free will. She berates your kind for squandering it, constructing cathedrals and waging wars against her, while she saw herself as the only true savior. In her view, humanity chose the iron fist of Inarius over the liberty she offered. Her parting words hang in the air, an ominous forewarning of events yet to come. With her last breath, she warns you that her demise will be a catalyst, sparking a conflict with the prime evils, a battle you stand little chance of withstanding. And with those last words, Lilith, the Mother of Sanctuary, the Daughter of Hatred, fades away. Returning through the portal, you rejoin Lorath and the lifeless Donan. Nirel's absence is a noticeable void. With Lorath's assistance, you carry Donan out of the hellish landscape and navigate your way back to the Forsaken Chapel. However, Nirel isn't there either. The possibility of her retreat to the Horadric Vault arises in your conversation with Lorath. No sooner have you stepped out of the chapel that you are confronted by a hostile contingent. Iosef, leading the Knights Penitent, stands before you, determined to arrest Lorath on charges of treason, as decreed by Prava of the Cathedral of Light. As the fight erupts, you eventually rise victorious against them. In the silence that follows, you uncover a missive from Prava amidst Iosef's belongings.
The Horadrim have used their dark magics to bear a great evil into our world. Commit their wicked souls to the Father and retrieve the Soul Stone.
She condemns the Horadrim, laying the blame for Inarius' demise squarely at their feet, and recounts her futile attempt to send her Pale Knights to execute Lorath. Your search for Nirel leads you to the Horadrim Vault, a tangible silence hanging heavy in the air. Here, nestled in the quiet, you discover a letter from Nirel. Upon returning to Firebreak Manor, you deliver the letter to Lorath, who has laid Donan to rest amongst his kin. The letter unveils Nirel's self-imposed mission. She has embarked on a journey to distant shores, looking for answers to questions unknown. The Shard of the Worldstone and its captive, Mephisto, her sole companions. As Lorath reads the letter, the scene transitions to Nirel. Her journey across the harsh and yielding landscape is depicted, her lone figure resilient against the backdrop of a wild, untamed land. From the shard, Mephisto's whispers seem to float up, a dark symphony playing in the wilderness. The chapter reaches its crescendo as Nirel, under the canopy of a painted sunset, boards a ship, paying her fare with a stoic determination. As the ship sails into the horizon, its destination unknown to us, the sun sets on the chapter, marking the end of a saga and the beginning of another. After all that has transpired, all that's left are conjectures on what direction the narrative will take. Their certain involvement in the prime evils and Mephisto creates a palpable sense of impending doom. You've seen the length to which you, Nirel, and Donan, and Lorath have gone to protect Sanctuary. Fallen heroes, shifting alliances, and rising foes have painted a vivid tableau of courage, sacrifice, and resilience against all odds. Sanctuary is like a vast chessboard, its pieces just having moved in a grand, unpredictable gambit. But with the setting of the sun on this chapter, the game is still far from over. Remember, a sunset rarely signifies an end. Rather, it heralds a new dawn, a fresh start. As survivors in this world of turmoil, you must steel yourselves for what comes next. The stage is set for the next act in the grand drama that is Sanctuary, the quiet before the storm of the prime evils and Mephisto. The journey continues, and you stand resolute, ready to face whatever lies beyond the horizon.